Hello ladies and gentlemen, Keaton here and welcome to the Tengu Drop Recap for the week of March 1st, 2015. It's like the start of a new week, a new month, a lot of new adventures. Anyway, as you probably noticed, there's a couple of changes to the visual aspect of the Tengu Drop Recap. And as I mentioned the last time, eventually there will be new music to accompany this new presentation style. But again, music equipment is expensive, so is the software, so eventually we'll get there. But for now, let's just recap the week instead, shall we? Okay, sounds good. On Monday, Joe started us off with more Cosmocoria. This time around, his main objective was to find costumes, and he actually stumbled upon the ninja costume this time around. And he learned something that I accidentally skipped over when I played this update myself, which is that this little ninja dude that you can come across in the world will actually take your sword in trade for his costume, which means if you duck, you're pretty much invisible. But the AI is still a little freaky on that the last time I played it. Nonetheless, Joe discovered the ninja costume, traded his sword in for an awesome little red and black outfit to travel the cosmos in style. Yeah. Anyway, not only that, he takes a look at a whole bunch of other aspects of the game. So, for those of you who like to keep up with the latest and greatest in Cosmocoria, there's a new update video that Joe did for Monday. In case you missed it, check it out. On Tuesday, I did more Binding of Isaac Rebirth, and this was a very interesting recording session. Actually, I had to record it at a less than stellar time frame, so I was very tired and quite pessimistic for a majority of the video, unfortunately. Made a lot of silly oversights due to sleep deprivation, but nonetheless, the game was actually generous enough to make it a relatively cool run. You know, I'll say that much. Don't want to spoil too much, but it was a nice change of pace from getting constantly beat down by roguelikes likes. So, you know, Binding of Isaac Rebirth being a bit of a friend this week. Really appreciated it. On Tuesday, Joe also released a video for There Came an Echo, a brand new isometric strategy action game that has a really cool feature, and me just explaining it is probably not going to do it justice, but it's pretty much based around voice commands, so you control the units on screen, again in an isometric sort of style, very akin to like XCOM, StarCraft, you know. And basically the way that you can play the game is through voice commands. It really reminds me of a game like Lifeline, if you guys remember that game. It's a pretty obscure game actually, but you're pretty much directing characters or a character through spaces using voice commands, and it's really cool. Highly recommend you guys check it out if you haven't, because it is a pretty awesome concept, and I personally can't wait to play it myself. I can't wait for the game to not recognize my voice and me give up like 10 minutes in, but you know, nonetheless, check it out if you haven't already. On Wednesday, we continued the trend of new releases this week because there were a lot with the Towncraft. Joe took a look at Towncraft, which is once again an isometric game, but this time around it's more of a SimCity-esque type of game with maybe a little bit of Minecraft mixed in for good measure. Kind of explains the title. Towncraft is like a mixture of a town building game with a crafting game, and the thing is, I'm kind of glad that Joe was able to accept the gameplay. I know that Joe's not necessarily the biggest fan of those kind of, like, he's not a big fan of Minecraft, just for example. So it's nice to see that Joe really gave this game a chance, because a lot of it really reminds me of Don't Starve, and we are going to get Don't Starve together once that game is out of the closed beta process. So it makes me feel a little bitter as Joe's future survival partner that he might be getting some training through Towncraft. So really good, really good on him. On Wednesday, another new release. Yeah, we were on it this week. I looked at a good snowman is hard to build, and if you were put off by the title, I can understand. It's a very unique and interesting title, but trust me, the gameplay is pretty damn fun, and I probably don't do it justice because I just can't do puzzle games in an interesting fashion, but the basic gist of a good snowman is hard to build is you got 3 balls of snow. But obviously there are other aspects to it, like there's snow on the ground, and if you roll too much snow, then the balls get too big, and etc, etc. It's a very interesting puzzle game. I mentioned it so much in the video. If you ever played Sokoban, the game Sokoban, which is another puzzle game, you will probably feel at home playing a good snowman is hard to build because it revolves around that same concept of moving circular things through space and trying to get it together, you know. So again, a good snowman is hard to build. I highly recommend it. If you guys are on the fence about it, if the name just confused you and you weren't sure what to feel, trust me, it's a puzzle game. It's a pretty cool one. Highly recommend you guys check it out if you haven't. On Thursday, it was Nuclear Throne one-shot time, and as big of a bro as The Binding of Isaac Rebirth was this week, Nuclear Throne, on the other hand, decided to be a complete and utter D-bag. And I gave it 2 shots. The first run ended in failure due to an abundance of things coming at me. The second run ended due to an abundance of things coming at me. And, you know, Nuclear Throne is no stranger to an abundance of things coming to kill you. But this week, the abundance of things that managed to come and try and kill me was too great, and it was not the most successful series of runs. Nonetheless, if you could humor a poor soul who just gets dominated by that game every week with some sheer hope just glistening in the Cloud9 sphere that I will someday reach. I will reach Nuclear Throne Euphoria at some point, just not now, but if you would like to support that, I highly recommend you guys check it out, or just laugh at my pain. Either way. Speaking of pain, my second Thursday video was real boxing, and that was an ordeal. As I mentioned, this week was very, very new release intensive. Like the amount of emails we sent out this week to get new games to show you guys pretty much was almost a span the entire week. And not every developer sees the merit in our channel yet, so not everything that we tried to get for you guys this week turned out. So Real Boxing was unfortunately a backup video that I was hoping I wouldn't have to release, but I did anyway. Not the best of games. I'm just not a boxing fan anyway, so I tried my best to do what I could with it, and it's an interesting video if you haven't watched it. If you think it's just me punching guys in the face for like 20 minutes, kinda is, but you know, I try to put a fun spin on it, so don't worry. I put a chicken in the video. Go watch it. On Friday, continuing the trend of videos not necessarily turning out the way we wanted to this week in terms of our scheduling. We were down a video this Friday. It was supposed to be a double release like we did on Wednesday, but unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Anyway, on Friday, I looked at a game called Blackhole. This game really intrigued me because when I was reading up about it, all the previews showed the game maker interface, which is what they apparently built the game on, and I've never seen a game look this good and come from game maker. Even my own personal experience with it, I've never been able to see an upscale like of high quality like this. I don't know, maybe they started at 1080 and then the way it scales down is terrible, but 1080, it looks so clean for a game maker game. It looks so good. The upscaling is just amazing. Can't say as much about the gameplay. I will say that probably the weakest aspect of Blackhole is some of the design aspects are not necessarily the best. I'm gonna spoil it a little bit here. I get stuck on the 4th level in the first area of the game, and just speaking as a person who has played a lot of games, I feel like that puzzle could have definitely been done better. I could pretty much go on and on about how I would have fixed that level in particular, but I'm not gonna backseat game dev here, but but I do feel that there were a lot of aspects of Black Hole that could have been done better, but I will still give it to them. The production value, especially if it is a Game Maker game, again, I have to say that because it's so good that I'm second guessing whether or not this was Game Maker, because it is just that good. So I definitely give the devs props in that aspect. So don't let any of that dissuade you from at least checking out the video and seeing if this is a game that you would play. And on Saturday, our final video for the week, it was more Left 4 Dead 2, the Suicide Blitz 2 map. We continued the Suicide Blitz 2 map, and pretty much your standard Left 4 Dead 2 action as it's come to be. Of course, we have Daryl from Walking Dead, Ezio from Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, whatever else he's in. We had Donatello from TMNT, and you have the Pop-Tart. And you have very, very beautiful visuals. We don't actually necessarily mention it too much in the video, but we're using a cinematic lighting add-on alongside this map. So your miles may vary if you decide to pick up Suicide Blitz 2, the map yourself, and play it. But seriously, this map and what you'll see in a future video, it just looks so pretty, man. It's a really pretty map, and with cinematic lighting, it looks so much prettier. But anyway, that was the week in Tengu Drop videos. As always, if you missed anything that we released this week, maybe something I forgot to mention, maybe something gets posted really late, way after I've recorded this, because I'm recording this a little earlier so I can make sure that the transition to the new presentation is smooth. So I might miss something surprising that Joe might throw up. I don't know. That sounded weird. Phrasing. Anyway, that was the week. Again, everything is in the description if you missed it, so you know, definitely check it out. Next week will probably not be as busy in terms of new releases. I don't think anything new is really coming out next week, but the week following should be pretty cool. But I'll talk about more of that next week when things are more set in stone, because again, things keep getting delayed, and it's really hard to keep a schedule when things get delayed or something goes wrong. Anyway, a lot to look forward to, so definitely get caught up this week if you haven't. Everything, once again, is in the description. You know, it's very easy to access. And a reminder, if you guys missed it last week, we released episode 2 of the Drop Pod. Joe actually joined me for that one, and we talked about early access games, anticipated games, Peter Molyneux, early development, release trend going on in the video games industry right now. So you guys should definitely check that out as well if you missed it. It's 40 minutes of us just talking about video games and the industry, something that we don't really necessarily get to do that often. And definitely leave your thoughts and comments on those subjects, or what you feel about the podcast in general. We would love to hear your feedback on that and everything else we release, because we always appreciate all the comments, likes and favorites and all that good stuff that you guys do. Always enjoy the support, and of course, welcome to the new subscribers to the channel. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. And that was a lot of things to say. Anyway, hope you guys had a wonderful week, and until next week, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys then for another Tengu Drop Recap. Bye.